Hey, welcome back to the live. We are featuring another W.I.N directory listing member. We have Janice, who just signed up for the W.I.N directory. So we had a lot of people that just this week alone, because I'm doing lives, we know the value of lives. We know that reaching new audiences and being able to show up where people can physically see you, hear you, and experience you, that's where the real energy is. So we're getting ready for our 2023. I am into this entire movement of becoming the new woman of 2023 who I choose to be. And as I grow into this individual of amazingness, and I'm already amazing, but when you get into a space of growth, you want to continue to level up. So that's what we're all doing together. And I have guests that are coming on the lives from the W.I.N directory because the community is growing. So Janice just joined. And so because she joined, she DM'd me the word live, took action right away. And now we're going to feature her on a live. So we're just going to give her a moment to get in here. Oh, there she is. I'm going to go ahead and get the live started. I want to make sure that if you're live, you come in the room, make sure you hashtag live. We're going to wait for some more people to get in here. Also, if you are in the replay and you're listening to this afterwards, which you know lots and lots of people come back to the replays, we're also sharing this on all of our other social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest even. I want you to make sure that you also, show love in those spaces as well. So make sure you share this live to your friends. We're going to be featuring Miss Janice, who's going to talk to us about her business, the woman behind the brand, and I'm really excited about it. So let me invite you in, Janice, because I want to see your face. W.I.N members, like in person at the meetups, or we get to see each other virtually on the lives we do days. But
Me.
yes, there she is. Oh,
Look, how are you? I'm
beautiful.
doing
How are
well.
you?
Just having this after Christmas, moment. Yes, yes, absolutely.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, I'm just glad that we were able to get on the live. I'm able to see you and feature
Allegra,
you.
I love watching all the things that you're doing. I love the platform and the community that you're building. So I'm just honored to be a part of it. So, absolutely.
Oh, thank you. See, I'm telling you, when we started out, it wasn't like this. Like we had great, intentions, but we didn't attract such quality individuals. I mean, there were lots of people out there that are great individuals, but it's something about the level of community, the atmosphere that we needed. And it's just grown into that. And so, I want to hear about the new community members that are joining and people who are active in our space. You come to our clubhouse rooms now all the time. I'm seeing, like, I'm an observer. I truly believe in like looking and people. I kind of like, I think that's a little intimidating for people because it's like, she's watching me. Like, but I, I want to do it because I feel like it's the way that we can grow together. Because if I see a place that I can help, if, it's just those type of conversations that I like to have. So with you, I've just noticed that you're constantly just popping and showing up, taking action. So let's hear about it.
Well,
What do
so
you
good
do?
morning,
Who do you
everyone. My
serve?
name is Janice. I am the woman behind the brand of Hills Leadership and Training Institute, LLC, where we essentially help people, develop their courses, develop their digital products. We also are branching over into some other soft skill type training as well. But the main portion of it is really helping, coaches, authors, business owners, and just individuals who are looking to just kind of start their own business using, classes like online classes and other digital products. We really just try to, help them realize that, their zone is a brilliance, like what they're doing. Like there's so many different opportunities that can grow from that. And it's really just, having those conversations and just helping others just kind of realize that, you don't have to just do one thing, that you can be, multifaceted in your business. It doesn't take a lot of revenue to do that, especially if you start when the business is young. And that's where I'm in at.
Oh, no, I love that. And so, you really started talking about courses and some of those areas where I feel like that's where a lot of the passive revenue is. And I believe now, being an entrepreneur for so long, I'm like, I like to work smarter, not harder. And it seems like you're bringing that to the forefront. Why did you start the business? Like, what
So,
was the
you know,
inspiration?
I've actually been in the training industry for a little while. Let me just start from the beginning. I actually retired from the military after 26 years. And if there's anything you know about the military, we are real serious about training. And was that, you know, a lot of the training that was being done on a repetitive basis really could be something that could be packaged and brought to, you know, our airmen in a way that everyone can kind of utilize it and gain kind of that same basic knowledge and understanding. So I went from there, I retired, and then I started developing courses for other government agencies like the Coast Guard, the Navy, most recently the Department of Veteran Affairs. And from there, I just saw how powerful, you know, having that particular product inside your business to train and to inform and to, you know, just help others, how it can just be something that, you know, you invest that initial energy, that initial, you know, revenue in terms of time and, you know, strategy and all those things initially. And then you can just continue to let it grow. Just like you mentioned, it's passive income. And I really began to connect the dots and say, you know what, this is something that, you know, not only can I offer to the government, but I can also offer to small businesses, especially those small businesses who are operating with, you know, with smaller budgets, but still need to have their presence in front of their customers at all times. So that's
Wow, that's incredible. You said something there that was key for me. You were like, I promote my services to really help veterans in need and government, you know, affiliates and partners and people who you probably had to get some paperwork done in order to get that established, right? I mean, I think there's levels to it. And when you said that, it just really brightened me up inside. 'Cause I'm like, that means that you took your business to the next level. I don't know if that's something that you started out doing that way because you have the connections in the military, but let's go deeper.
so
What
a little
was that
bit of
like?
background about me. I am I'm a prior contracting officer for the government. So I used to write government
Mhm.
contracts. So it wasn't difficult transitioning into, because I already had all the knowledge of how to get it's not difficult transitioning into that field. But there also are a lot of free resources that are also out there to help people kind of to do the same thing, right? And so instead of focusing on the area where I know people are, you know, they're really anxious and really are trying to get a government contract, and using that knowledge, I decided to do it on the other end by providing a different service. But yeah, and that's kind of how I transitioned into the courses for small businesses, from having that prior knowledge of how to get government contracts, having awarded government contract, having been a warranted contracting officer, and just kind of use that knowledge to kind of build my business, and then transitioning it to more of a service base for other entrepreneurs.
I love that because this is one of the main things that I think that people feel like they want to get into, but they don't feel like they're ready to. They don't know what the components are. I'm usually the one where I provide the resources. So, you know, you have this esteemed knowledge and understanding. Like, you'd be the one that I would say, you know, I need to partner with you because you have the information to, you know, give to the clients who usually would just think small. Like, oh, I gotta, you know, go out here and get all these leads, where you already have the government that has so much money in their pocket
Number one,
and they're
yeah,
just tell because you've been in the space. So when you know that and you're able to provide that, this is what you're
yes.
saying you're doing for other small business owners. So so I want to ask another question with regards to that, because this is something that not everyone knows or has privy to, like. And I love the fact that you're from the military, you're in the military, because when I work with, especially my clients that are in the
Yeah,
military, like, y'all don't play. And I love the fact that, you know, you value structure and, you know, are very like if it
yes.
needs to get done, you're going to get it done. So I love that. And so that alone, in as you as the one behind a brand, I'm sure if you're that way personally, I'm sure you work that way with your clients as well. which is amazing because you don't always get that quality of service. The same way when it comes down to the government contracting side, if you're helping your clients with that, can you advise us real quick when you are starting a business, where do you tell your clients to start looking for government
So there's
contracts?
only one actual, there's only one approved source for the government point of entry, which is what it's called, and that's going to be sam.gov. So anything that's over $25,000 is going to be out there. Anything under 25,000, that's when you have to do a little bit more legwork, right? Because those are not required to be posted. And so you really have to have connections with who's buying, like who are the buyers. But if you're looking for contracts that are over 25,000, then you will go to sam.gov and look and see what's out there. And there's all kinds of things out there, from leadership type training to janitorial services to, big multi-million dollar IT type projects. So the government buys a lot of the same things all industry buys, except, you're going to get paid if you do the work.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to mention that because I know a lot of people are in the startup phase, right? And they're just starting out and saying, and you made that great point of like, if it's less than 25,000, you need to start, looking at what components you need to put in place and help with that. But that's something I think is valuable because startup businesses need the money the most. Just saying. And if you can be intentional about how you build your business, right? A lot of people work their 9 to 5s, and this is why I love the fact that there's money out there and available. You just need to get taught how to get the money and manage it well, which are really, huge components that's part of business. But that's why I love when Ariana, the mindset coach on my team, she says the business is building you, because you're literally learning so much in business that you're like, wait, I don't even do this in my personal life. Like
a whole lot more. It takes discipline to a whole new level, because in your personal life, you always have that little room to like edge. Okay, well, maybe, but in business, you really have to be, committed to whatever it is that what you got going on. So absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. You want it to be successful, you got to really put the work in, to your point. So with all of that, I want to also kind of streamline just a little bit more about what you said about if they want to go ahead and go with government contracting, because there's a fear around that. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there.
It
just
is.
people have a
And let
fear
me tell
around
you,
it.
so this is one of the reasons. So one of the reasons, because like I really did, and we're talking, right? So I really go back and forward. Like, okay, do I want to offer, that kind of information? Like, do I want to be the catalyst for small businesses getting to government contracts, since I absolutely know, as a contracting officer, what we're looking for, how to put packages together. Like and because I retired after 26 years, so I'm not affiliated with, with the government. So that's how I was able to kind of move past into the area that I'm in now, because I'm not. But I think because I had done it for so long, I was just like, you know what, I need a break. I need a break from advising. I need a break from, directing. I need a break because, a lot of it was, I literally being the business advisor, you know what I mean? Where I was advising, the units, the commanders, how are we going to procure this? Who are we looking at? Just all of those little small details. So I really just needed a break. And I mean, there may be a time when I will go back into, or even think about adding it to the business, you know what I mean? But right now, I just don't know if that is where my heart is, even though it is a whole really good, and I'm going to have to just, I love where you see you just brought this.
I bring it because it's a need. That's just really what it is. It's just, and it's not that there aren't people out there that are providing it. It's just that it's in your wheelhouse. And but all that you do for people is important when it comes to that, even with course creations, because they can go through a course for that. They can really like understand how they can take some of their information and knowledge about what they're doing in that space of what you're teaching them and putting that into the course. There's so many levels to it, but I mean, we're just talking.
Can I just say this? Did y'all see what Allegra just did? When you talk about working with someone, see, this is the kind of stuff that you need, people to bring stuff out of you, So I appreciate that. Thank you. And so, yeah.
And And I think that is good because suggestions are amazing. I have an open door policy in like my business as well as my personal space. I'm like, talk about it, tell me about it. And I love criticism constructively because it's going to be a better person. But, you know, we have to be mature
Exactly.
enough to
Yep.
handle that
Yep.
too. So So let's get to know a little bit more about you because you know, we saw why you started the business. So clearly you had your expertise set, your accolades set, and you're like, listen, I'm going to just go ahead and take this a little bit further. This is something I already know to do, which I tell people all the time. Use what you already know. If you have 20, 30 years experience somewhere and you're like, I'm going to do something where I can have no
Yeah,
cap to my revenue. I can just make as much money as I want, have the free time I want whenever I want to, you know, establish that for myself. Because we're already working so hard for other people. So, you know, what's wrong with doing that for yourself for a
that
few
is
years to have that freedom? Um, yeah. So behind
true.
the transition for you from the military, um, I want to know more about that. Like, the actual decision to even
Oh,
join the
yes.
military. I was
You
like,
know, so so my path with the military is really, I initially started saying, you know what, I'm going to do 4 years and I'm going to be done, right? Because I had a whole plan. I was going to do 4 years because the whole purpose was to go to college, you know, and this is back in the early 90s when I graduated. And, you know, it was, hey, you can go to school for free, da 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 da, right? And and so my whole purpose
yeah,
was, okay, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get my money so I can go to school, and then I'm gonna be out of here, right? Well, I ended up going in, right? I ended up, when I initially went in, I went in as a law enforcement, right? So I was a security police. So I'm with my 9mm, I'm, you know, strapped up, I'm patrolling the base, I'm doing all those things because I'm a cop, right? I'm a, you know, base police. And so I did that for 4 years. Like when I initially got told that this is what I was going to do in basic training, like I cried, I boohooed, like I broke down. They were looking like, oh my goodness, we didn't tell you he was going to be minding, like, you know, a minefield or nothing, you know. But it ended up being like one of the best experiences, especially at 18 years old, because what it did was it built a lot of confidence, you know. The whole structure for having a responsibility for not only your life, but the lives of others, and being just responsible in the sense of, you know, you are the law for this particular installation. So it built a lot of confidence, a lot of structure, just a lot of really good things that I think if I had went somewhere else initially, probably would not have happened, right? But in the course of doing that, I wasn't able to kind of like get in any kind of school, right? Because I was working all these crazy hours, doing all this other stuff, and so I was like, okay, I was at my 4 years, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do one more set. So I did one more set, one more enlistment, and instead of staying in the law enforcement, I said, well, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and transition over because I'm really trying to get to school. I need steady hours in terms of the work schedule. So I transitioned into financial management. So I became a budget analyst. So I actually have experience in accounting as well. So I ended up going there. I got my associates in financial management, and then of course, like with every other military person, you get married, and you find your spouse, right? The typical, and he's still around, so it's okay. He's good. And so I ended up getting married. I ended up having my first child, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and one more time. So now I'm at 12 years. So now it's like this moment where you're really like, okay, either you're gonna be in or you're gonna be out, right? And so I stayed in, and I stayed in. I kept making rank. I kept doing really well. Eventually ended up getting my bachelor's in human resource administration. Stuck around some more, and then I was like, you know what, I'm done with finance. I kind of done everything in it. I was an accounting technician. I was budget analyst. Worked in a couple of the other sections. And I said, you know what, what's next? And that's how I ended up in contracting as a contracting officer. And I did my last 11 years as a contracting officer. And ended up with my, got my master's degree while I was in, and retired out. Got the 26 years. So.
So you basically did essentially what you wanted to do, right? So it sounds like all those
Mm-hmm.
things were choices that you wanted.
Except for the initial. The initial was not a choice, but in the.
Well, but here's the thing, even though because you made a choice to go to the military post to like school, and these are things that we also, because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, when I first had the choice, this is a we all had a choice. I remember
Mm-hmm.
JROTC in school. I remember saying like, okay, that's kind of cool. Do I want to do that? And then I remember they were like, oh, there's a lots of rules and regulations. I was
Right.
like, oh no, I'm done. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yes.
anybody telling me what to do. No, I don't want, and that type of loose cannon in my mind. Like, I don't want
Right.
that type of structure this early in life. But, sometimes we need that type of structure. It's not about what we want, it's what we need. And so, just from your story of sharing that, hey, you cried a little bit, but you bit the bullet, you went through with it, you were able to get positions of power, you held your gun at an early age. Like, I'm sure people were very like, oh, that's a bad girl right there. Like,
Yes.
you know, because let me say something. It's something about your skill set where you, I think, get into that place of knowing how you can do things that you never were able to do before. I mean, I remember my first time shooting a gun, and I was like, oh, that's like I'm sorry, but it just gives you a certain level of confidence. It's unexplainable to me, but I think that if you have control over that, where you have a good skill set that you can use a weapon that way, and that you can actually know how to protect other people, and really care for the things that people don't even think about,
Mm-hmm.
you're creating legacy that way too. I don't know how many lives you're changing and how many people look up to you as a woman. Because I know when I was a young girl, there were a lot of Black women that I could look up to and just be like, unless they were in the history books and they were like talking about it, like Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman, and the Oprah Winfrey's of the world started coming out. But now we have multitudes of powerful women like yourself. That's just, when you share your story that way, you're like, that's so intentional, and the growth of it all,
Mm-hmm.
from shooting a weapon, protecting lives,
Yes.
to running numbers, to getting in the government space and saying, I can own space here. Like, those are
Yes.
powerful
Appreciate it.
moves.
Appreciate
Those power
that.
they are. I recognize those things and I celebrate it. I celebrate it. So when you got past the fear of it all, which I think this is a lesson for all of us, get past the fear of it all, because on the other side there is something waiting to for you. I always talk about being that 2023 new woman. It's not because I don't like or love myself. It's because I know that God always has something else for me. Every level there's a new devil, so why would I not be a new person every step along the way? So you just kind of, and Janine said very inspirational, right? like like this is good. This is why I love these lessons. I'm like, we really get to know more about the person. And you were talking about family, you were like, yeah, I did that too. Like, I did what I wanted to do, but I also made sure that I, curated this experience in my life that was personal to me. Like, some of us as women, I feel like we work so hard in our businesses and at our jobs that we neglect the personal side of our lives. Like, we forget how to be loved, how to be soft, how to be cared for, protected. Like, I've been in business for a long time, but I've never been the
Mhm.
woman to be like, oh, I don't need a man, or or how we get very indignant about the fact that we make more money than men, or the fact that maybe they're not in the space. It's one thing to be accomplished. It's
Right.
another thing to, I think, to be a little selfish. And so I love the fact that you balanced your life out like that, and that now you can show your own children, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is how mommy did it. I my corporate dollars to make my business grow and run, and now I can retire and I can make my money work for me. And now I can teach you how to do the same thing. That is
Yes.
powerful. So, with that being said, what is the future looking like? Where do you see yourself and your business,
You know,
say, in the
in the
next
next
10
10
years?
years, I really would like to have an actual like training type business where I'm really training like corporation, more government personnel, like turn it into a full-on training provider that offers CLPs, CEUs, those types of things. Because it's important. There's not a lot of us in that kind of a space. So having a business that can do that and be sustainable, because those types of requirements, they're not going anywhere. And so that is where Hills Leadership and Training Institute is moving towards. That is what we're moving towards. Mhm.
That was very clear. I love the clarity in that. And then personally, where do you see yourself? Because that's the business side. Where do you see
I see
yourself in
my,
about 10 years?
you know what? I see myself relaxing more, taking extended vacations, doing stuff I love, like giving back, you know what I mean? And just being available, just being available in life to the people who matters, and the things that matter. So yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. Well, I think that we got the gist of it all. And I would love to, have more and more of these, and we'll have more opportunities to feature you. You're already in the directory. And I didn't put the link down there, but
Okay.
if you want, put the link to your website, or here that you would like people to connect with you. And, if you are in this space where you're creating courses, y'all, let me pull up my WIN directory while I'm here on the website, because I love reading off of their the the websites. But here's the thing, if you see that, like I spoke about you before you came on, and I said, you're one of the good ones that come in, take action right away. I love that, because when you do that, you get to do things like this. There are some people that have been in one directory that just haven't gotten featured yet, but you got in and you got featured. We'll have more of those things in the future. Like, we're going to be taking this same video, and this is why I love the intention behind the woman behind the brand, because people will be able to relate to all the things that you spoke on. I think that we as women need to be more inspired, more empowered, more by each other's story. Um, because the more I hear about the people that are in my space every single day, it blows my mind, consistently blows my mind at so many of the new things I learn every time I speak to you all. Um, if you look at the lives that we've already done, just like the live that we're doing today, you'll see just powerful women and men who support us. So I'm featuring this on YouTube, Pinterest. We're going on Facebook, and we also have a new platform. And so I really appreciate you, Janice, for sharing your story, because it helps me get more of the community out there to the public. It helps me get more exposure for you and your business, which essentially that's what it's made to do. And so, with that being said, I want you to tell people, because I know we pinned the link to your website, but I want you to tell the people how you would like them
So
to support you.
definitely, everyone, please just, if you're on Instagram, if you're on any of the social media platforms, I think the easiest way to get to know someone is to really try to just follow them and be in the spaces that they're in. So definitely, if you're out on any of the social media platforms, go ahead and just give me a follow. I made it real simple. All of my social media handles is I am Janice Hills. That is it, and that is from LinkedIn to Instagram, Facebook, all of them, Twitter. I am Janice Hills. Give me a follow, and if you like what you see, definitely reach out to me through the DM, and we can definitely get to work on your courses. And Allegra, again, I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janice. It's giving good plans and strategies right now. So I'm all all right. Well, we're going to end the live. Amazing, amazing time with you. And again, thank you. And make sure that you all connect with Janice. Again, share this live, go to her social media platforms, check out the business, and check out in the Win directory. See her beautiful face there. We have so many opportunities for you to get your business in order, and the resources that we present here today, especially with the course creation resources in 2023. We talk about the wealth transfer, but we don't want to just talk about it. We want to be prepared for it. So having a course created from the knowledge that you have and whatever you're doing,
Yes.
and being able to go to sleep and and wake up, and your money is in your account, and people are actively, taking the courses, actively, interacting with whatever you've set up with that course. I think that it's important for us to be very intentional, and Janice, I know you're going to help us do that. So y'all go ahead and take action today, and we will see y'all around these, what would I say, Instagram feed streets, whatever. We'll see y'all. All right. Thank you again. Bye.